whenever you were knocked off your pedestal, someone kind of, I feel like you were definitely, you went from feeling like the authority figure to like being emasculated, like it was taken away from you, your power, or you felt like it was. But your ancestors are coming in here and saying your power was never taken from you. It was all optics. Because we know the truth.
Wow.
Please wrap this question up. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do?
That's a question you're asking me, or?
No, that's what the card says.
Oh.
Yeah. And what I see here is I see sand. I saw biblical before. You in your second life, you were actually in the Middle East, which is directly tied to Erzulie, Danthor, Etheric chords, and I saw biblical. So when I think of biblical, the Bible came way after, the pyramids, like millions of years after.
Fact.
Okay. But when I see biblical, I think of the Middle East.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think of Jerusalem, Bethlehem, with all of those places. Even Africa. Egypt is called Egypt now, but it's Africa before. They just, when the Arabs came into Egypt, they changed it from Kemet and Kush into Egypt.
Facts.
But Egypt is a part of Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
And I see this etheric quartz here. I see a mom with a son and a little girl here. 3 generations.
That was me, or that's a wife or something?
This is you in your past life. So this is, we asked where you lived. That was the question. You lived indoors. And then as a native, you lived outside.
Okay.
So you had the 2 of your most memorable lives was in Africa, and you were indigenous with the Native American. I hate the native, that says American, the native there.
The Aboriginal.
Right. So I feel like there's definitely a native Aboriginal there, and then there's also the African diaspora here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Definitely got this energy of like you were a person of authority.
In both lives? The second life too?
Yep.
Oh, goodness.
But I feel like in Africa, you might have been, because I saw the Emperor card, I saw the Ankh, and I saw that twice.
Oh, boy.
You could have been some kind of emperor or a leader, somebody people looked up to, a father figure, someone who had authority, who had influence.
Yeah.
Okay, so me seeing the Justice card here too is like you were an authority figure, and the Emperor it's literally that. Like when we read tarot, we see the Emperor, and it could be a judge. Okay, because this person's like no bullshit. So is it the King of Swords. But anywho, yeah. So both past lives, the ones that Spirit wants us to it was 3, but we saw 2 and 3 here. I'm seeing the ocean overseas. You live near water when you were a native, and when you were in Africa, you lived in the desert. See this monument that's here, and then we see this sand. You live near sand, so I see sand and water. Spirit, please